Support WrestleTalk!
Give us a subscribe. WWE made a lot of mistakes last year that they'll want to leave behind in 2020, like having to fire or furlough a reported 40% of their workforce, whatever that spider thing was meant to be with Eric Rowan, and booking Goldberg to beat The Fiend and become the Universal Champion, which they've definitely learned from and won't do again. Oh god damn it, WWE! But probably the most costly mistake, again, was Vince McMahon's second attempt at relaunching his alternative football league, the XFL. After McMahon lost $35 million on the initial 2001 season, and later called the league a colossal failure, title of your next wrestling pay-per-view, he had another go in February last year. Some early ratings numbers indicated it might be a success this time round, but nobody could prepare for what the pandemic would do to live sport, unless you're a professional wrestling company and continue on regardless. Despite reportedly pledging $500 million to his business partners, selling $270 million of WWE stock to fund it, the league's second inaugural season was cancelled on March 12th, and then completely shut down the following month, filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection, leaving many of Vince's partners unpaid and reportedly destroying McMahon's business reputation. This also led to the XFL's commissioner, Oliver Luck, who was fired before the bankruptcy filing, to sue McMahon personally for wrongful termination, seeking $23.8 million, claiming that he was fired because the company was going out of business, not because he had actually done anything wrong. And now we have the next development in the case. McMahon suing him back. What a counter-maneuver! USA Today is reporting McMahon's countersuit claims Luck abandoned his post at the start of the pandemic, leaving the XFL's headquarters in March to return home in Indiana, when communication between them ceased, writing, Luck's actions during the crisis caused by the COVID pandemic certainly did not meet my expectations for a commissioner and chief executive of a sports league, charged with devoting substantially all of his business time to the performance of his duties to the XFL at a time of existential threat. The other main grievance was that Luck would not follow McMahon's orders on who to hire, writing, Luck knowingly and deliberately deceived me repeatedly by signing NFL wide receiver Antonio Callaway and pursuing former Heisman Trophy winner Johnny Manziel, which was fascinatingly supported by an actual text message from Vince McMahon to Luck. How long are you going to play this game, Oliver? You know there is, all caps, no chance in hell for Manziel to play for us. I will not change my mind, so what's your plan? He actually quoted his own entrance music in a private text message. No emojis were included in the lawsuit. McMahon's countersuit is seeking $572,792.10 to cover Callaway's contract and workers' compensation. Luck's attorney replied to the filing in The Athletic. It's another lame attempt by Mr. McMahon's attorneys to deflect attention from the fact that Mr. McMahon continues to refuse to pay the $24 million that he owes Oliver Luck. Note to the legal team there, you want more catchphrases? May I suggest, because your luck just ran out. But because 2020 really did lose its mind, The Rock then bought the XFL, with current plans to relaunch it again next year. What do you think of the XFL? Let me know in the comments, because I'll be replying to people saying it's got no chance in hell. Vince McMahon's words, not mine. Before we get on with the rest of the episode, I'd just like to say a huge thank you to the first WrestleTalk news sponsor of 2021. It's a new year, Chopper, and you'll never guess who we've got supporting us, sponsoring us for our first WrestleTalk news episode.
You do this to me every month. It's Raid Shadow
Legends. It's Raid Shadow Legends, Chopper! Ha ha! I got you by surprise again. Raid Shadow Legends is an epic fantasy RPG caught in a war thousands of years long. Fight noble knights and dark wizards, uncover prophecies, curses and betrayals, play with tons of badass champions. Not now, Death Knight! You're being too clingy. All by using my links in the video description below to download Raid yourself for free on your mobile phone or PC. Aside from Death Knight, my favourite part of the game is the incredible lineup of champions and factions, like my level 40 shaman. I call her Gamora. If this were a wrestling promotion, it'd be the deepest talent roster you've ever seen. I said give it a rest, Death Knight. And last month, Raid just released their biggest ever update.
The Doom Tower.
A giant tower with 120 floors, a bunch of secret challenge rooms, and 12 badass bosses to take on. It's the perfect time to start playing, so let us help you along with a bunch of free goodies. If you're a new player, downloading Raid from WrestleTalk special links in the video description below. You'll get the free Void Champion Bulwark, 50 gems, an XP booster, some energy refills, and an ancient shard. The perfect starter pack to attack
The Doom Tower.
All this treasure will be waiting for new players here in the inbox for the next 30 days. I'll be waiting for you in the game where you can find me as Wonder Ollie. And if you're quick enough, you can join my Ollie Authority clan. Comment down below once you've downloaded Shadow Legends with your username, and I'll reply telling you to raid that raid. Following Jay White saying he's done with New Japan following his loss at last week's Wrestle Kingdom, and both WrestleVotes and Voices of Wrestling reporting WWE was very interested in signing him, a poster at New Japan venue Korakuen Hall might have spoiled the speculation-mania, with Twitter user @Kakatolog posting a picture of Jay White with other members of the roster, and the caption badly translated by Google as Korakuen Hall entrance side announcement space is now the March launch anniversary version, advertising White for a New Japan show in March. The Wrestling Observer has reported White isn't even halfway through a suspected 7-year deal with New Japan right now, and that him quitting in that interview is most definitely a work. New Japan used to offer all their top stars 1-year rolling deals, to be renegotiated in the weeks after their annual Wrestle Kingdom shows, but are understandably now locking down their wrestlers for longer terms after loads of their biggest wrestlers left at the same time. Twice! But while White seems to be staying put, another top wrestler has reportedly become a free agent. According to Wrestling Inc., former Ring of Honor World Champion Dalton Castle has let his contract expire as he wants to see what else is out there. ROH apparently offered him a good deal to re-sign, but he appears to want a new challenge after being with the company since 2013. Castle was reportedly on WWE's radar back in 2018, where they wanted him for NXT before he re-signed with ROH. There is also AEW, of course. Cody Rhodes and Castle brilliantly feuded for the ROH title back in 2017. Many wrestling promotions have admirably put their performers first during the pandemic, with Impact, New Japan, and AEW all continuing to pay and book people despite touring shows being heavily reduced. And Ring of Honor has been one of the best examples. According to Fightful Select, in addition to paying several unsigned freelancers who were booked but couldn't appear due to the pandemic, a lot of ROH people praised the promotion for treating them exceptionally well, that they've not extended any contract time after being out of action for several months. Everyone was paid whether they worked or not during their deals. So it's unsurprising many are recommitting themselves to the promotion, with ROH announcing a number of wrestlers re-signing over the last week, including Tracy Williams, Bandido, Mark Haskins, Bateman, Brian Johnson, Amy Rose, and Sumi Sakai. Apparently ROH World Champion Roosh and TV Champion Dragon Lee are also expected to re-sign, with their contracts thought to be already expired. One person who did leave, though, was arguably the company's top star, Marty Scurll. After choosing to sign with ROH in December 2019, instead of debuting in AEW as the planned leader of the Dark Order, he became one of ROH's top pushed wrestlers, and even began a lead creative role behind the scenes. Scurll hadn't been seen since allegations were made against him in June's Speaking Out movement, though, and the two sides officially parted ways last week. Fightful Select is reporting the announcement didn't come as a surprise to the ROH locker room after he was removed from the roster page back in September, and they don't expect him to be back. Plenty of people thought Scurll should be given a second chance, but apparently a similar amount just wanted him to leave. Skell is reportedly living in Orlando, but the Wrestling Observer has pointed out he might have to leave the United States if he isn't currently working. Meanwhile, over in AEW, Skell's Bullet Club buddy has revealed he's had COVID. Thanks for your support on Patreon, The Roller Coaster, Robert Acosta, and Ronald Coleman, baby! AEW co-executive vice president and current tag team champion Nick Jackson of the Young Bucks has revealed on an Instagram story he suffered from coronavirus last year. Crazy to think there's still COVID deniers out there in the world. I had a pretty bad case of COVID in early September that kept me bedridden for nearly 3 weeks. I couldn't taste or smell for 2.5 months. At one point, my whole body had hives in it, and my doctor said that it was definitely from COVID. Matt had to do the majority of the work in matches once I returned safely because I couldn't catch my breath. My cardio is finally back, but it took months to finally feel like myself again. Let's protect each other and wear masks. Bear in mind, the Young Bucks had one of the best matches of the year at November 7th's Full Gear. That was a COVID recovering Nick Jackson. As a reminder that COVID wasn't magically cured on New Year's Eve, the Wrestling Observer is reporting the Thunder Rosa vs Britt Baker match planned for this Wednesday's Dynamite has been pulled because Rosa recently came into contact with a positive case. The match will be moved to a later date and is going to be replaced with the Dynamite debut of Britt Baker's dark interview segment, The Waiting Room, hosting Cody Rhodes. Last Friday's SmackDown was also affected by coronavirus, with ring announcer Greg Hamilton appearing shaky on the show's broadcast. Hamilton has since revealed he understandably had something on his mind. Tonight was tough. My fiancée has COVID. I am proposing to her soon, but yes, I was not at my best tonight. I owe you all an apology. You expect the best from me, and I should deliver. Tonight, I didn't. I'm sorry. She is my everything. She is sick, and I'm not there. Thankfully, Hamilton later posted that his wife is resting in quarantine and she appreciated the outpouring of support. Awkwardly back to things that now seem like they don't matter, SmackDown managed just over 2 million people for Friday's episode. So you know where has a lot of people? India. So WWE are going to do an India special. Post Wrestling reported last year that WWE was planning an 8-man single elimination tournament to be filmed in Florida on the 22nd of January, to be broadcast on India's Republic Day national holiday on the 26th. And now they've unveiled the name, Superstar Spectacle. Presumably from the Saudi Arabia show names that just weren't clunky enough. A TV advert for the show featured some of WWE's most famous Canadian talent, like Jinder Mahal and the Singh Bros, and Indian Performance Center recruits Inder Sher and Jeet Rama. But shut the goddamn fridge door! Lance Archer might have new hair! Because WrestleTalk gives you the content you need, a wrestler might have a new haircut. AEW's Murder Hawk tweeted a photo of what seems to be his blonde and red dyed long hair shaved off and on the floor. Well, it's either that or he's killed Hulk Hogan. Archer has also teased invading Impact on AEW's behalf and has directly called out Carl Anderson. What are the 10 greatest Royal Rumble matches of all time? Click the video on the right for Adam Blompier's latest list. And why is WWE angry with Mustafa Ali? Click the video below that to find out more. Remember to download Raid using our links in the video description below. I've been Mr. Davis. Raid that raid.